Thank you everyone for joining this meetup. And today I will share some experience on workflow orchestration tools, which is called Apache DolphinScheduler, and it can run on Azure. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm William, and I'm Apache Software Foundation member, and also I'm Apache IPMC member, and also I'm the PMC of Apache DolphinScheduler and the mentor of Apache cTunnel, and also I'm the founder of ClickHouse China community. And I used to be the CTO of analysis and also the senior big data director of Lenovo. And also I used to work at Teradata, IBM, and I'm working in big data area for almost 20 years. And today I will share some sessions on Dolphin Scheduler. First, I want to share some challenge of big data workflow orchestration. And then I will introduce Apache Dolphin Scheduler on Azure. And at last, I will show a demo to you. And many people ask me, what is a big data workflow orchestration? Actually, if you are working in big data or in data area, you will know there will be many tasks in your job. For example, you will write many SQL, but this SQL they will have some dependencies because some SQL will run first and some SQL will run after that. And how to orchestrate them together, that will be tools for big data workflow. That's what we call big data workflow orchestration. And we met many challenge in big data workflow orchestration. First challenge is about the bad performance and low latency. As far as I know, there will be many big data jobs or big data tasks in your big data platform or in your data warehouse platform. Uh, for example, in Lenovo, we have more than 20,000 big data jobs, and we have to run that every day. And when we start at the zero point in every day, it will be run very slow. For example, we want to start all the jobs at the same time. We will have a very high latency, and with the more numbers of tasks, the workflow may be crashed or the latency will be higher. So that's a very big challenge in my job. And we have to, when we use other workflow tools, such as Azkaban or Airflow, we have to build many isolated small instances. And that means we have to divide one DAG into many pieces. And it's very hard to build, trigger and dependency map. And Dolphin Scheduler has a multi-master and a multi-worker design. And it can run, the performance is very good. And it can run about 35,000 tasks per second with 3 servers. And we found that many users can run the tasks more than 1 million at one time. So the performance is very good. So that can solve the problem I met. And the challenge I met before is it's very hard to manage real-time job and batch job together. We have a batch job before. For example, we're using Teradata and using a SQL Server and using Hadoop. But now time we are also using, for example, Flink or Spark streaming. And we found that a real-time job and a batch job, we are very hard to handle them together. because we have we can only handle the batch job in our DAG map before, and we have to use other things like a cron tab or other tools to manage the real-time job for Flink. So there are two systems to control the data pipeline in our enterprise. The real-time data for which is run on cron tab or other real-time job orchestration tools, and also we have another orchestration tools to handle the batch data. But they are related, you know. For example, we just collect data from other places into Kafka, and then we use Flink from Kafka to the to the Hoodie, and then we are using a batch job from Hoodie or Hadoop to SQL Server, and then we have many SQL Server jobs. So we are very hard to manage them together. For example, if the Flink job failed, the batch job also should be failed, but they cannot be failed because they are separated into different orchestration tools. So it's also very hard to do the data quality control between Kafka, data lake, and data warehouse. So how to manage them together is also the issue I met before. And then I found that DolphinScheduler can support both jobs in DAG. That means you can drag and drop to create a Flink job, and also create another batch job depends on this Flink job. As far as the Flink job is running, the batch job will be triggered by time or triggered by the schedule. So if the Flink job failed, the batch job will be failed also. So this helped me a lot about handle the real-time job and the batch job together. And the challenge also we met is lack of the access and resource control. For example, there are many user group in our enterprise, and some are data analysts, some are data scientists, and they are from a different department. And how to control the whole orchestration tools about the resource and access control is very hard for us before. When we are using Azkaban and Airflow and other tools, because they do not have some resource control, access control. And now we found that DolphinScheduler has access control by project or group or users. Then we can divide different department users into different projects, and they are using the project under the access control. So also we found that we can control the resource file. For example, there will be many UDF definition or other, for example, SQL file or some other script. And we found that there are tools called Resource Center in DolphinScheduler. Then we can upload the whole resource file to the Resource Center. And with the access control, that kind of script can be automatically deployed on our Hadoop and on our Spark. So that helped me a lot about the whole access control. And for backfill data, I think everybody, if you are using a data warehouse or using a big data platform, backfill data is a big problem in every day because the data quality is not as good as we think. So sometimes we have to backfill data, for example, 1 week or several weeks. That suffer me for a lot because we have many data sources, and your source state system is not quite quite stable. Sometimes the data quality issues always happen. So so how to ran a period of date of backfill is horrible time for us, because you have to use many scripts to do the backfill, and because the date of the data is different, and if you want to run months of the backfill data, months of backfill, and it suffered me a lot. So I found that the Dolphin Scheduler has a function called backfill data automatically, and we can use that to backfill the data in serial or parallel mode. That means we can run the whole month's backfill data at one time. For example, as a parallel mode, for example, 30 days at one time, or we can just run that one day by one day, or we can run that divided into 5 part or 3 part, 10 days as one thread, and another 10 days as another thread. So I think it's helped me a lot about the backfill data. So I found that many workflow orchestration tools do not have that function for the backfill data, and I think that it's very easy for us to do. And also, I found that sometimes we, because we have many DAGs, sometimes we have the requirement that one DAG has to depend on the another part of a DAG. For example, in our data warehouse, we have the stage area. That means a lot of data model in stage staging data warehouse part, and then that part will depends on, for example, 1, 2, 3 part of the workflow for extract data from a source data system, and then that means one DAG must depend on 3 DAG before that, and I didn't want to separate that. I didn't want to integrate that 3 DAG into this DAG. That means our DAG will be a very big DAG. So I want to create a job to depends on other 3 DAG, and found that Dolphin Scheduler offered a logical task called dependent, and we can use the dependent task to depend on other 3 DAG. So it's easier to build it dependent across workflow and projects. So also, we found that some data quality issue. For example, we just extract data. It's one SQL, and we want to validate the data quality. If the data quality is okay, then we will continue to do the jobs after this job. If the data quality is not okay, then we have to stop the whole job and just send an email or send an alert to us to handle the data quality. And in old days, our solution is to run the whole workflow, and then we will find the data quality issue at the end of the whole workflow. Now we found that Dolphin Scheduler has a task called data quality, and the data quality task can check the whole data quality, not in the end of the whole workflow, but in the middle of the workflow. So you can add the data quality task to check whatever you want in your workflow. So that helped me a lot about didn't to waste our computing resource on bad data quality job. So that many challenges we met before, and we handled that with Dolphin Scheduler. And now I want to introduce what is a Dolphin Scheduler. And Apache Dolphin Scheduler is open source project, and we call it it's a distributed and extensible workflow scheduler platform with a powerful DAG visual interface. First is a workflow scheduler platform. That means it can support complex dependence, and it has it can control the task concurrency and the limitations, and it can support retry, alert, and backfill, and also it has many monitor metrics for you to monitor the whole workflow, and uh, it is with a powerful DAG view interface. That means we can just drag and drop to create your DAG. You needn't to use the Python or other things to create a DAG, but also you can use the Python API if you want. And also it can support YAML definition. That means you can create in the ways you want. You can create a very complex DAG. And also we call it distributed because the Dolphin scheduler is high availability when with high performance. It's designed by decentralization idea. It has multi-master and multi-worker, and it have a very good fault tolerance, and also it's we call it is extensible because it's plugin based design, and you can add your task very easily. For example, now we support Azure SQL, and we will support Azure Data Factory in the future. And if you have some Azure other task, you can add the Azure task yourself. It's very easy to create some new task. And now it support more than 40 tasks and more than 11 data sources. And it can support many ways of alert. And also it support many ways of registrations. So this is the interface of this is the interface of Dolphin scheduler, and you see we just can create a workflow with low code. You just drag and drop to create a task, no matter the task is a SQL task or shell task or MapReduce task or Spark task, and you just can type SQL in the text box, which I will show you in the demo in the end. And it's very easy to create a task and to monitor the task, what happened in the task. So this is the interface of Dolphin scheduler, and this is the architect of Dolphin scheduler. You can see we have many masters and many workers. That means you can extend the master online or extend the worker server online. And as far as I know, our users will use, for example, I think it's in China Unicom, they have more than 70 servers of Dolphin scheduler to control more than 1 million of tasks. So the cluster of the Dolphin scheduler can be very huge. And also, if you are using a small part, you can use a cluster of 3 servers, or you can use the one single server to run the whole workflow. The function is the same, but the tolerance and the performance is different. And now Dolphin scheduler is trusted by many industry leaders, such as Cisco, IBM, Tencent, Lenovo, Nokia, China Unicom, and many users. I think it's more than 3,000 companies are using Dolphin scheduler for orchestration tools. And there are some typical use case. The first one is China Unicom. Just like what I said, China Unicom want to use the scheduler system to support the whole big data processing and the task scheduling for their global data platform. And they just compared Airflow, Azkaban, and other commercial scheduler. China Unicom finally chose Dolphin scheduler because Dolphin Scheduler can map their huge numbers of task control, and they have now they have more than 1 million of tasks, and they told me they they will have a 100,000 tasks concurrency in 1 second. So they try many other orchestration tools, and they cannot support that high concurrency. So they chose Dolphin Scheduler and use about 70 servers to support that huge tasks. And they told us they met their business requirements, and it's a cost effectiveness, and also it's very easy to use. So they train their users are very easy because they have 31 provinces, sub companies, and a sub data mart. So they have trained about 100 people users to use Dolphin Scheduler. So it's very easy to train because Dolphin Scheduler you can easy to use Dolphin Scheduler about in 10 minutes for users. And the similar users are Alibaba and Ping An. They're using Dolphin Scheduler for high performance and high volume of task scheduling scenario. And the second type of scenario is we call the global cloud deployment with ease of use of data consumers. The typical users is Cisco. Cisco used to use Airflow to control the whole global task, but Airflow is a centralized design and a lack of visualization, and also it cannot support Kubernetes very well, especially in global cloud native deployment. Thus, Cisco chose migrate from Airflow to Dolphin Scheduler, and then it can support global cloud deployment and decentralized to ensure the stability and the performance. And also, it's very easy to use for their data consumers without developer background. So their data analysts and data scientists are using Dolphin Scheduler to create their own workflow job. And the similar users are Shane and McDonough and VMware. So this scenario is for the users who are using global cloud deployment and who has many users who are not developer background. And the third scenario is we call the machine learning orchestration or AI orchestration. Because Dolphin Scheduler now we support many AI and machine learning tasks. That means you can use Dolphin Scheduler to prepare data, and then you can send the data to your machine learning algorithm or AI algorithm in one workflow, and you can schedule the whole data preparation and whole AI training as in one workflow. So Ligier and 360 company are using Dolphin Scheduler in their on their data scientist platform for the data training and for the data preparation. So this is some use case for Dolphin Scheduler, and we do some comparison between Dolphin Scheduler, ASCAP, and Airflow, and from stability, you can see Dolphin Scheduler is not a single point of failure, and also is supported by itself on HA, and it can handle very well on overload processing. And for Dolphin Scheduler, it's very easy to use. You can create a workflow by UI or by Python or by OpenAPI or by YAML, and now Dolphin Scheduler can support many workflow interface, and it can deploy very quickly on cloud. And also for extensibility and elasticity, Dolphin Scheduler is written in Java, and we support SPI, and we support scale cluster online, and it's very easily to scale your cluster. And also we support some data quality features, pause, resume, multi-data tenancy, and support some assertion or backfill or dependency or real-time job or other things. So you can see Dolphin Scheduler can be very easy to use for a beginner or for advanced user. Now we had some other new features between compared to our old version. In old version of a Dolphin Scheduler, we can simple to what you see and what you get to create a workflow, and it has a high reliability, and it has a rich workflow functions, and it's cloud native. Now we add some new features. For example, we support machine learning orchestration. We support SageMaker, DVC, Pytorch, Jupyter, and OpenMLDB. And also we support real-time job, and we support YAML and Python workflow support. And also we support Azure, AWS, and Kubernetes in 3.0. And now Dolphin Scheduler can support Azure SQL very easily, and I can show you in the demo. Dolphin Scheduler, now we support Azure SQL, and we will support Data Factory, I think in next month. That means you can drag and drop to create a Azure SQL or create a Data Factory on Azure. And also you can use your Hadoop, and first you use some tasks in your Hadoop side, and then you can create a workflow, create a task on Azure, and then you can handle the whole big data platform in your enterprise. And now we support Azure SQL by multi verification ways. For example, SQL password, AD password, AD MSI, and AD service principal, and also support token. And we can support Azure SQL tasks by drag and drop. I can show you in the demo. Now I want to show you a demo to see what is Dolphin Scheduler and how to create a Azure SQL task in Dolphin Scheduler. And then we can have some other question and answer. Now here is the interface of Dolphin Scheduler. It's a browser based, and now we can create a data source. We can see we support many data sources like Postgre, ClickHouse, Presto, and SQL Server, and Oracle, and other things. Now we create a data source for Azure SQL. And we can see we gave a name of Azure SQL. For example, we call it AD password for production, and we will input the IP, and we choose a way of validation. For example, we choose a way for AD password, and you can use your AD username, and you just input your database name. Then we can create, we have test and test successfully, and then we create a data source. Then we create a project. Different department, we can use different projects, and you can control the access. You can use the access control, and we create a task, a project named task, and we have some functions here. The first function is we call the workflow definition. You can drag and drop to create a workflow here, and you can, if you are running a workflow, you can see the workflow status in workflow instance, and in each task in workflow there will be many tasks, so you can see the task definition and the task instance in this function. And we have a home. Home is will be a dashboard to see what the status of the whole workflow. And for resource, the resource center, you can upload your script or upload your SQL file to the resource, and then you can use the result file in your task. And we have a data quality function that you can define your data quality rules, and then you can use the data quality rules in your workflow, your workflow task. And also we have the task resource and monitoring and security function about that. So now we can create a workflow definition, create a new workflow, and we can see we support many workflow with many task type. For example, we support shell, Java, Python, and SQL procedure, and SQL, Spark, Flink, and HTTP or MapReduce or Dinking or Flink or Hive. Many universal tasks here. And also we support some cloud task for EMR, for Kubernetes, or for DMS. We support that. And also we support some logical task. For example, we support a sub process. That means you can use a workflow in this workflow to by this task you can use other workflow as a task in your this workflow. That means you can use for example data preparation, that will be a workflow, but you can use the data preparation as a task in your whole in your whole machine learning workflow. And also we support dependent that I just introduced before, and you can depend any task outside this workflow or outside this project. And also we have a condition and a switch. That means you can use the if then or switch to see the result, and the workflow will run different branch depends on the global parameters. And also we support data integration. We support Apache cTunnel, support Apache Scoop, or support DataX. And we will support Data Factory, I think is in the next month in data integration for Azure. And we also support data quality tasks. You can add data quality tasks in your workflow to control the whole process. And now we support many machine learning and AI tasks, such for example, we support Jupyter, MLFlow, OpenMDB, DBC, SageMaker, Pytorch, and Kubeflow. That means you can drag and drop this task and just config in this workflow, and you can run the Jupyter on Jupyter server, and you can you can create a data preparation task, and then you can use the training model. So it's very easy for you to create a AI training MLOps workflow. And also we support some other tasks. Now I will show you the example to how to create a Azure SQL task. Now we created the first task we called create before, and we can create the data source type of Azure SQL. Oh, sorry. And then we can type the SQL in the text box, and it will be ran on SQL, Azure SQL. And also, if you choose the Oracle or choose Hive, and the similar things, and we can just type the SQL right here. And also, we can create other tasks for Azure SQL, and I have a quick, and we can create many tasks for SQL. For example, we just create a 4 Azure SQL tasks, and then we can use drag and drop to link them together. For example, we want to let this task run at the beginning, and then we want to run insert one, and then run the query after. And we just drag and drop to create the dependency. This DAG means we ran query before at first, and then if this tasks succeeds, then we ran insert one task, and then insert two tasks, and then finally we will run query after task, and we just save the whole workflow, and then we can run the whole workflow. Yeah, and confirm, and you can see the workflow name here, and we can put it online, and we can just to see in the Azure SQL, we can see in this table, student table, we have only 6 lines of records, and then we will run this task on DolphinScheduler and confirm, and then there will be a task instance. Every workflow will generate an instance, and if you operate this instance, it will not change the template of your definition. That means every modification in your workflow instance, it only modified this instance only. It did not modify the definition. So we can see, if you want to see the logs of the jobs, you just view the logs. Yeah, you can see the logs of the whole things, and also you can see the logs for Hadoop, or for Spark, or for Flink, or for other things in this screen, and yes, you can see the whole logs. Now you can see the whole task is successfully finished. So we can see the status of each task. If the task failed, there will be an arrow signal right here, and you can see what happened in this task. And you needn't to log on Spark or Hadoop or other server to see the logs. You can see the whole logs on Python, Java, or Azure SQL, or other things in this screen. And then we can check the result in Azure SQL. Now we can see there will be 8 records of Azure SQL. So this example for the whole for DolphinScheduler, which is running Azure SQL, and I think it's very easy for us to use and deploy. And if you are interested, there are many resources about DolphinScheduler because it's open source and it's an Apache project. You can see the website on DolphinScheduler apache.org, or you can see the GitHub, and I think it's more than 9,000 GitHub star now. So it's a very popular open source projects. And you can use the email to dev@DolphinScheduler apache.org, or you can join the Slack, or you can see the DolphinScheduler Twitter. And if you want to use the demo, you just join the Slack, and the community people can help you to log in the demo. And here is the whole session. Here is my LinkedIn, and my email is guwei@apache.org. And if you want to ask some big data big data questions or other questions, you can contact me on email or in LinkedIn. So this is the whole presentation.